Hi guys, this is Siddhant from Serendi-PTE. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a beautiful resolution. Now I have seen so many students who struggle and wonder and wish that if somebody tells me or if I know how to attempt summarize spoken text, my PT is sorted. And it is one of those tricky questions, don't get me wrong. And now this video is going to eliminate all your concern about this question type. I promise you, if you watch this video and understand everything that it entails, you would not be struggling with summarize spoken text. I can't wait for you guys to watch this video. Hopefully you'll enjoy.
So let's get started. This is exactly what your screen is going to look like in Summarize Spoken Text. The top of your screen would read, "You will hear a short lecture. Write a summary for a fellow student who was not present at this lecture. You should write 50 to 70 words. You have 10 minutes to finish this task. Your response will be judged on the quality of your writing and how well your response presents the key points presented in the lecture." The column below is your answer area. So summarize spoken text is the first question of your listening module. Like the prompt represented, that you'd have to give your response in 50 to 70 words. Your response needs to be in one paragraph, and you'll be given 10 minutes per task. You can get 2 to 3 such questions in your exam. It's very important to note that summarize spoken text contributes marks to 2 modules independently. So you're getting 20 to 25 points in the listening module, and you're also getting 20 to 25 points in the writing module. So now we're going to understand the marking criteria for both the modules. Now, what are the key criteria that you're being judged on individually for listening and writing? So in order to get maximum scores or full scores in the listening module, you have to understand that you need to present key phrases from the audio in your response. Now, what this means is, now chunk of words or key phrases, group of words from the audio that match exactly as the spoken text, or you need to present key information from the audio. What it means is you need to repeat back the same information as mentioned in the audio. It could be in your own words. Now, I personally recommend using key phrases more rather than using key information, because sometimes it can get tricky to use key information, because your understanding of the audio can get a bit different to the actual understanding because of your limited understanding of the English language itself. So I strongly recommend using more key phrases from the audio rather than relying too much on key information as such. So once again, the difference between key phrases and key information is, key phrases is a chunk of words exactly the same way in the same words mentioned in the audio, and key information is the same information mentioned in the audio, but it could be in your own words. Now, these were the criteria for your listening scores. When it comes to your writing scores, there are 2 major criteria, that is your grammar and your form. It's very important to note that grammar is a very critical component or a marking criteria for any of the writing tasks, and this is one of the most important writing tasks. So definitely grammar is right at the top. Now, what grammar means is your sentence structures, all the grammar rules, your punctuation, your vocabulary, your spellings, all that is part of your grammar. And what does the word form mean? Now, the word form indicates the structure of your writing. So now form includes giving your response in 50 to 70 words. So anything less than 50 or more than 70 words is going to have a negative impact on your scores. Now, form also means the style in which you're writing your response. You need to make sure that you're ending your sentences with full stops, you're starting new sentences with capital letters, making sure that there is enough space between 2 words. That is all part of your form. All right. So it's very important to understand that we use a fixed template in Summarize Spoken Text. Now I have a beautiful template in front of you, the template that we use here at Serendi-PTE for all our students. It's a beautifully balanced template. It's a very generic template at the same time that you can use for all Summarized Spoken Texts that you get in PTE. And now the beauty of this template is it's going to benefit you in two ways. The first, that it's going to help you write more than 50 words within 10 minutes very easily. Secondly, now this is going to minimize your grammar mistakes, because the chances of making your grammar mistakes using this template are going to be very minimal, hopefully, after watching this video and understanding how to use this template. Now, a very important instruction for all of you is it's not just about using any templates in Summarize Spoken Text or any other questions for that matter. It's very important to note that how you use the template is equally important. You could have the best template in the world, but if you're still making grammar mistakes, or if you don't know how to use the template properly, you're not going to score very well in your question type. Now let's have a look at the lines or the sentences in this fixed template. So this template has 3 sentences. It's a very well balanced sentence, very well balanced template. There's an introductory line, a body line, and a conclusion line. And the first sentence says the audio underscores the subject of main idea. So in the in the blanks, or in after the word of, you will add the main idea of the audio. Now, according to you, whatever you think is the main idea, just include that phrase after the word of. The word underscores means talks about or highlights. So what we're trying to say is the audio was talking about the subject of something in the first line. The next line is your body line. Here we add 2 phrases from the audio. So let's have a look. The second line is your body line. So here we're going to add some juicy information, some meat from the audio. We're going to add some major chunks of information from the audio. As you can see, we're using 2 phrases in this, but it's also important to note that in the second line of the structure, we're using a compound sentence or a compound structure, which is a very advanced grammar structure that's going to fetch you a very good score in your writing module. So the line goes, the speaker not just mentioned that phrase 1, comma, highlighting its accuracy, but helps understand the relevance of how phrase 2 in today's time or at that time. So it's very important to understand that we're using this advanced grammar structure in the second line, that is not just but also. So not just but also means that we're adding 2 bits of information in this line. So there are 2 clauses in this sentence. The speaker not just mentioned that. So now the word that is in brackets. So it's very important to understand the word that is not a fixed word in this structure. It's a conditional word. Now, if the phrase 1 requires the word that, then you will use it. Otherwise, just skip the word that. So the speaker not just mentioned that phrase 1, comma, highlighting its accuracy, but helps understand the relevance of how phrase 2. So the word relevance here means importance. So we're trying to say that the speaker not just mentioned phrase 1, but the speaker also helped us understand the importance or relevance of how phrase 2. So whatever information you want to add in phrase 2, you can add from the audio. You can end this sentence with either in today's time or at that time, depending on the information given in phrase 2, whether the information is relevant in present time, which means that the phrase 2 had verb in the first form, or words like is, am, are, then you would use the phrase in today's time, which means relevant in present time. But if the phrase 2 had verb in the second form, or words like was or were, then you would use the phrase at that time, which means was relevant in the past. So the second line is the speaker not just mentioned that phrase 1, highlighting its accuracy, but helps understand the relevance of how phrase 2 in today's time or at that time. So again, if you don't feel like if you feel like in today's time or at that time, none of them are suitable with phrase 2, you can simply end the sentence after phrase 2 without using any of the following phrases, either in today's time or at that time. You can simply finish the sentence there. The third line is the conclusion line. So therefore, concluding that, phrase 3 is undoubtedly apparent. Here you will again add one more phrase from the audio. So down below is a simple instruction of how to use the word that. Now, because it is conditional, it is not going to be applicable in all the phrases. So now if your phrase is a complete sentence, if it is conveying complete information, only use the word that in that particular case. But if your phrase is a partial clause, if it is not conveying complete information, do not use the word that. Now, following is an example. Now, I have what I've done is I have solved or attempted one summarized spoken text for you. The link is given at the top of this video. Now, this is a real exam question. I'm also going to be posting this link in the bio of this video, so make sure to check it out. So what I've done is I have noted down some phrases from the audio of the given link. Now these are the examples of the phrases that I noted down in the from the audio. Now there's about 6 phrases. It's very important to understand that it's not necessary for me to use all the 6 phrases, and it's also not necessary to use the phrases exactly as mentioned in the audio. I can edit them a bit if I feel like I need to edit them in order to make sure that once I am adding them into my structure, they are making complete sense, both logically as well as grammatically. So now these were the phrases that I noted down from the audio, and now this is how I have used those phrases in my summary. So the summary reads, the audio underscores the subject of where the debt is coming from. So instead of writing down a question, where is the debt coming from, I have changed that phrase into a statement, where the debt is coming from. According to me, this was the main idea of the audio. The speaker not just mentioned that the debt today is so high, highlighting its accuracy, but helps understand the relevance of how pesticide use in just the last 5 years in India has shot up by 2000%. So now in this case, because I've already referred to a time that is in the last 5 years, I did not feel the need to add another phrase after this phrase too, by mentioning in today's time or at that time. So I've simply ended the sentence here. The conclusion says, therefore, concluding that the same companies who sell the pesticides and the seeds are now major creditors is undoubtedly apparent. So now this is a beautiful example of using the structure and writing a summary that is both logically plus grammatically perfect, and I can promise you that this summary is going to fetch full marks in Summarise Spoken Text. Now, another small secret to Summarise Spoken Text is that you should not be worried too much about making sense of the 3 sentences. You should not be worried about making sure that, oh, I need to get exactly the right main idea. So anything that you feel from your understanding is the main idea, you can use it in the first sentence. And also the second line, the second sentence of the structure, the phrases that you add in the second line, they don't necessarily have to be correlated with each other. As you can see that in this line, that the 2 phrases that I've used, they are not 100% correlated with each other. The first phrase was, the debt today is so high, and the second phrase is, um, how pesticide use in just the last 5 years in India has shot up by 2000%. So now both these phrases, they're not 100% correlated. So it's perfectly fine if they're not. Likewise, the conclusion, the same companies who sell the pesticides and the seeds are now major creditors. Now, this is not necessarily the real conclusion of the audio. All I've done is added a phrase from the audio into the structure making sure that the line in itself makes sense, which is not necessarily the conclusion, the real conclusion of the audio, but still the algorithm, the PTE algorithm, is going to grant me full marks for the summary, because A, my grammar is perfect, my form is perfect, so I'm going to get full scores in the writing module. B, I have used exactly the key phrases and the key information from the audio as mentioned in the audio, so I'm going to get full marks in the listening module as well. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is our information. We do provide online classes, and we also have an office in Melbourne. Make sure to check it out. If you have any queries, feel free to give me a ring or a text on the given number. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions on what I should make the next video about, feel free to mention it in the comment section. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Cheers.